Lovelies on Instagram. Hello there, Design Divas on Facebook. It's so good to be here with you. I'm Donna Hoffman. They call me the Interior Design Advocate because I advocate on behalf of design lovers everywhere, women working on your own home, trying to beautify things. Maybe your results have been falling flat. Maybe the ideas in your head aren't quite panning out. Maybe your results are okay, but you want great. Maybe your ideas are just not even fleshing out, even to the okay level. That's where the Interior Design Advocate comes in. I also run in a luxury interior design company here in the Philadelphia region of the United States. But we stop everything every single Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern, to come out here and spend time with you, my peeps. We love to teach a lesson on something, and then we take your questions on that something. Sometimes it's more general and generic, and we can take questions on your projects. And sometimes when we're very topic specific, like we are today, we'll take questions on that topic. Now, definitely, I want you to stick around during this Facebook Live. Got a big announcement to make, something really super duper exciting for you. So there you go. That's a little tease. There you go. All right, so let's get started. Today, we are talking about such a confounding topic, and it is color. Why is color such a stress point for design lovers? Why is color such a stress point for wise, brilliant women like you? And I'm getting lots of waves on Instagram. I'm getting some hearts and hellos on Facebook. Why does it drive smart, strong, talented women like you crazy? Is there something wrong with you? Answer no. Why is color so confounding? Well, a couple of reasons. Color is not a static thing. It's not like a spoon that just lays there, or a cell phone case that just lays there. It's a dynamic thing. It changes and it morphs. It has the ability to literally to change based upon what it's next to or near, because one color will coax out an undertone in another color. Color surrounds things and can change the mood or temperature of a room. Color has temperature. You've heard people talk about cool colors and warm colors. Well, there's that as well. Color also does something very powerful to people individually. I mean, if you've ever read interesting blog posts about the psychology of color, there are studies that are done about how colors can affect people. You may or may not agree with those to a greater or lesser degree, but certainly big advertising companies that get paid big bucks by big brands listen to that. What colors excite people? What colors are considered depressing colors? What colors are motivating colors? There are studies that talk about how color affects people in hospitals, people in nursing homes. And then I think too, you add your personal history. There's one color that you might love that you might say, oh, hate that color, can't stand being surrounded in that color. There are colors I design with, that I love designing with, that are way too intense for me to live with. And I've talked to other designers who feel the same way. So color affects us viscerally as well. But it also affects your perception of things. If you are, if you've ever been in one of my courses or even my free workshops, you may have heard me tell this story. I was in a big lecture. I was listening to a great furniture expert designer talking, and she advises big brands like Grange, big, luxury brands. And she's also advised big internet brands, catalogers. And she said, without question, if they launch a piece of furniture and it doesn't do well, a piece of wood furniture, the first thing they do is not to cut it from the line. The first thing they do is recolor it. And 9 times out of 10, when they change the color, suddenly they have a hit on their hands. That's how powerful color is. But if you're just joining us, talking about color, going to be making a big announcement in a little while for you. But anyway, but the other thing to keep in mind when you're designing in your home, when you're designing a room, you now know that color is a big driver, right? It creates mood. But color, based upon how you control it, does a lot of other things, or how you don't control it, does a lot of other things to your eye. Specifically, you have to acknowledge and accept the fact that every single element in your room has color. The wood furniture, right? Is it a brown with a red undertone or a yellow undertone? Your wood flooring. Of course, fabric and paint has color, right? Every accessory, piece of artwork, everything is broadcasting color. So you need to know, how am I controlling and placing that color? How am I moving that color? So you use color in a space to drive the eye through a space. So the next time you're trying to decide about throw pillows you're going to add to your master bedroom, let's say, I want you to ask yourself the question, why? Not just, oh, well, this accent color's in my rug, not good enough. I want you to instead ask yourself, where am I moving the eye? Am I trying to let the eye just skim through the room very easily and sweetly, or am I trying to stop the eye in places? And if I am stopping the eye, how many times am I asking the eye to move across and pick up a color story? What do I mean by a color story? It's color repetition. How many times did the color, make it up, green, repeat itself in this fictitious master bedroom of yours? Do you want it to fly across the space 3 times? Or do you just want it to drop it into the center of the room once on a bench at the center of your bed? They'll both tell very different stories. Do you know, when I look at a room that I'm designing for a client and I'm looking at my space plan, I'll start to decide where I'm driving color and how I'm driving color through that space. Both the decision to drive color and the decision not to drive a lot of color, to let there be a lot of a single note in a space, or maybe a very quiet feeling where there's not a lot of contrast between colors. So when you ask me in one of my private groups, when somebody will post a picture and say, Donna, what do you think of this piece of artwork in this room? I could hang this or this over my sofa. And I always say, show me the whole room, please. Don't just show me the sofa. Can't tell. Everything looks good over one sofa. I got to see it. I've got to see it in the whole room. So I see how color's moving through the space. And that's how I can advise one of my students, one of my Design Diva lovelies. Yeah, I think that's a great choice in the room. Or no, I don't get that piece in the room. Or I think you're creating a little bit of mayhem in the room with that color choice. So it's about a considered decision on absolutely everything. Same thing with your accessories. Are you telling a story? Are you forwarding a story with the way you're driving color through your room with your accessories? Because I have news for you, lovelies. Right now, look around the room you're in. All the colors are doing their thing, broadcasting their story. They're all yelling and screaming or singing together. Whether you're controlling them or not is another story, right? That every color in your room is doing something. So that's why designers can get a real high dramatic effect out of a white on white room. And then they drop this cool piece of like Andy Warhol-esque, you know, cool Liz Taylor in the space and really vibrant colors. And it just pops because everything else is a sea of white. And there's one color moving forward. That's the whole rhythm in that space. Breaking, or I should say, that's breaking the rhythm of white. Right? White is repeating itself through this fictitious room, and then you have a pop of something else. So I want you to ask yourself, before you add an accessory, why am I adding this accessory? Why am I moving color to this location? Why am I picking this metal color in this location? Why? Answer the why, and color will become less confusing for you. Color is not haphazard. Color is not a wing and a prayer. It's actually a very strategic, thought out process. And when you approach it that way, you will not only start to create rooms that have great rhythms in them, but color will become a lot less scary to you. Okay? So I think I've gotten most of my little bullet points taken care of. Definitely, if you have a question about color, feel free to ask a question, a color question, whether it's paint, whether it's fabric, whether it's whatever you're trying to do that's kind of tripping you up on color. I'm happy to take your questions on that. Should I do the announcement yet, Katie?
Like you'd like to go.
Katie's saying I should go for it. Okay, you ready? Here it comes. Before I'm sorry, I'm making things jump around on the screen here. Okay, guys, listen. Somehow word snuck out on this because something happened, but it's a good thing. I just want to let you know that we know here at the Interior Design Advocate that the way your home looks and feels absolutely affects the way you feel in terms of your sense of quality of life, your sense of peacefulness, your sense of, you know, just well-being. And that is why we are putting on a live conference called the Design Diva Conference. It is happening officially, and doors are open for registration. It is happening in Philadelphia, September 28th and 29th at a posh, wonderful hotel, the Rittenhouse Hotel. It's a 1.5-day conference. This is truly a once-in-a-lifetime design immersion, I should say, and we are looking at truly completely infusing your home with more beauty so that you can live your most beautiful and wonderful feeling life. You can make it a girls' weekend and buy an extra ticket for a buddy and bring her, or come solo and plan to connect with other design lovers, women like you, like-minded women, I should say, as well as me and my team. And we're going to be bringing in some wonderful design experts for a great design panel. If you want more information or you want to grab a ticket, we'll be posting a link for you as well. But I do want to let you know about something I'm doing as a special thank you to all of you. The full ticket price for this 1.5-day event, filled with workshops for a day and a half. We're feeding you breakfast both days, lovely refreshments in the mornings as well as in the afternoon of the first day, a lovely lunch the afternoon of the first day, all the materials as well. We'll be doing design masterminding on your projects as well. The full conference price is $12.95. However, for the next 48 hours or until this small batch of tickets runs out, we are releasing 20 tickets for $199. What? Yes, that is less than it will cost me to feed you beautifully at the posh Rittenhouse Hotel with the lovely things. I'm not feeding you tuna fish sandwiches. We're talking Design Diva, foods. So we're releasing 20 of those tickets at $199 just to make it super easy for you to hop in, and it's my way of saying thank you. If those 20 tickets sell out before midnight on the 3rd of March, then there will be a price increase, and we will be continuing to increase the price the closer we get to the conference. So if you want to hop on those, I don't know how this happened, but Steve came into the studio the other couple hours ago and said, oh my gosh, somebody found our registration page already on the Design Diva conference. One of the special tickets is already gone. So now there are 19 of those left. So if you want to hop in, hop in. And for more information about the conference and how things work, there's going to be a, what are we saying? I'm supposed to say something here. I don't know. We're going to be posting a link. We're going to be posting a link.
It's been posted.
It's been posted. The link has been posted. So there you go.
Instagram can also access the link
Instagram can also access the link
in our bio.
in our bio.
Click
Click the
the link.
link in the bio, Instagram. So there you go. I am so excited to be doing this conference for you. You have no idea. And I cannot wait to connect with you on it. And I'll just say one more thing. Who should attend? Well, certainly design lovers working on your own home. Absolutely. And even though it's a Design Diva conference, if you want to bring your guy, Divos are welcome also. But bring your mom, you can buy a ticket for your sister, whatever. We just are excited to have you with us. So people working on their own homes, for sure, design lovers. If you are a stager and you want to kind of upgrade your mojo and sharpen your skill set, you'll find a lot of meaty content and takeaway in this conference as well. And if you are a designer who's young in the industry, less than 4 years in the industry, maybe you feel like your training was meh, or you've never apprenticed under another designer, great takeaway for you there as well. But I'm telling you, once in a lifetime kind of opportunity. There's nothing else out there like this. I really created this for you. And last thing I'll say is that some of the teaching, there's going to be a color workshop that will forever change the way you see color. You will conquer color in this workshop. And I'm also doing, one of the workshops I'm doing is actually, I'm going to be teaching some advanced concept in design, but you know me, now how I teach, I know how to break it down so it's very manageable, and this is going to separate your design and decorating efforts from the masses, okay? That's all I'll say. All right, on to questions. I'm very excited, can you tell? Alrighty, so this question comes from Kate on Instagram. Hello, Kate on Instagram. My crystal chandelier throws crazy shadows on your navy walls. I know, that's the beauty though of crystal chandeliers in dark spaces, Kate. Maybe you didn't know that before you picked out that gorgeous chandelier. Well, changing my wall color lessened the shadows. The lighter you make your wall color, Kate, the less prominent it will be. You know, those gorgeous crystal chandeliers. Remember when you were a kid in science class and, I don't know, third grade? Oh, good grief. There's somebody calling me on my cell phone. Get rid of that. You could look through those prisms and that would just, you know, create that rainbow, break up that light wave. That's kind of what your crystal chandelier is doing. So what you want to do, if you don't want that really speckled look or that really, that effect that you're having, The lighter you make that wall, the better. Now, you said you've got a navy wall with a crystal chandelier. That has got to be gorgeous. So I hate to see you give up that navy. So the only other thing I could think of that might help you, Kate, I wonder, do you have a high gloss on that navy? I'm hoping maybe if you're more matte, maybe it won't be as, you won't be throwing shine against shine, but I'm guessing you're maybe more in an eggshell. It's the depth of color with that crystal chandelier. Hate to say it, but I applaud you for doing that. Navy blue walls, how sexy and bold is that? You are a design diva, Kate. I love it. All right, any other questions? I'll see if there are any other questions coming in here. Let's see, I'm getting highs from people. Carolyn is saying she's happy to be here. Question being handed to me from Katie. Miss Dean Paul is here. Hello, Dean Paul. How are you? Ruth is here. Gail Benchner's here. Gail, I hope you're feeling better. Tammy's here. Needs a lot of help with color, Tammy. I hear that a lot. Rhonda is saying, this is a picture of my house. I want to paint. Okay, Rhonda, I can't see the picture of your house. You want to paint the brick a different color. What do you think about a smoky blue? Rhonda, my love, can't see your picture, so I'm afraid I cannot give you an answer on this. Rhonda, if you're in one of my private groups, if you're one of my students in one of my courses, you know you can always post a picture. If you're not one of my students, please don't send me pictures because there are way more of you, there are way more of my students than there are of me. There's only so many things I can help and design with. So, but if you're one of my private groups, Rhonda, because you're in one of my courses, you can certainly submit a picture, always, always. Lisa's saying she needs help with color. This is great. Ruth is saying, how do I downplay undertones if I have an undesirable undertone in a tile or a wood? Okay, Ruth. Ruth, I'm thinking you're in one of my courses. If you're in the Decorating Genius course, then I want you to review the color module. Here's the story. Color that lives on the opposite side of the color wheel. Well, I should just back up by saying, guys, the color wheel is not this made up thing that some third grader just sort of did with a paintbrush wearing, the smock at the paintbrush. Well, third graders don't do that. That's what I did in kindergarten. Now third graders are writing, apps. But anyway, nobody, the color wheel isn't just this made up thing. There's actually a color strategy, a science, if you will, in the way the color moves through that. It's like a board, right? So when colors are opposite each other on that wheel, that triad position, colors that are opposite each other excite each other, and you will bring out an undertone that you may not want to bring out. So if you have a color like red, and you don't, maybe you have a floor that has a red undertone in it, if you throw yellow into your room, you're going to excite that red because yellow lives across from red on the color wheel. So you would need a color wheel in front of you, Ruth, for me to be able to really have this make sense. But what you can do is do a little Google research and look up whatever your color is and say, what is the analogous color? A-N-A-L-A-G-O-U-S. Analogous colors live next to each other on the color wheel. Contrasting colors live across from each other, right? Across from the wheel. But analogous would be next to each other. And analogous colors will not excite the color that they sit next to so very much because it's a little shift to the left or the right on the wheel. Hope that makes sense. This is really a case where I would need visual aids, which is why in my free workshops and in my courses, I have a lot of visual aids, but these Facebook Lives are really more about me coming out here and trying to connect and do some quick teaching with you. So Ruth, I hope I helped you and didn't make your life worse. Here's hoping I helped you. Okay, so I'm getting a lot of hellos from people. Paul wants to know where the link is for the conference. Katie, do we have the link up? Oh, Katie's saying it. Some people are confused where the link is. Okay, for Facebook, look in the video description, the bottom of the video description for Facebookers. For Instagram, the link is in the bio, okay? Instagram, link in bio. Facebookers is at the end of the video description, okay? There you go. Lisa Huckfeld is already signed up for the conference. Lisa, you're hilarious and adorable, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to hug you in person. Karen Myers is here to say, how do I coordinate various lighting treatments throughout my first floor so that they all have a nice flow? Oh, this is simple, Karen. We're talking about color, and we talked about how color leads the eye. If you want to create a continuity in your lighting fixtures through, let's say you're building a new home or you're just moving into an open concept home, don't do the same fixture and the baby cousin of that fixture, you know, manufacturers will do suites of things. Don't do that. No, you're too good for that. What you can do is a complement, but keep your finishes the same, Karen. All right? And that's what will create a nice continuity for you. And then once in a while, Karen, in a space that isn't quite part of that whole main floor open flow, then you want to change a finish, do something interesting in the enclosed study or in the, I don't know, the powder room. But that's your easiest way to go. And the other thing, Karen, is of course, you want there to be some marriage between the overall styling, right? So if you're doing transitional kinds of lighting fixtures, I'm sorry, there's so much activity, there's so much happening here, and we're so excited about the conference. Is there more hell breaking loose in this conference?
Yeah.
No, good. We have controlled the hell that was breaking loose. Anyway, you know, you want to let there be something that marries these fixtures in terms of the line, the shape of them. We designers can get a little funky, and we can really break a line and do it really well, and it'll look intentional. So you're not super experienced in design. I'm going to tell you, go more simply, Karen, and then you'll knock it out of the park, okay? So use your finish, the color of that metal, to unify what you're doing. Does it have to be the exact same? No. Let's say you have a black metal finish in a lantern in your, I don't know, your entry foyer, and you have like a dark bronze in the kitchen area. That's fine. But I wouldn't do a gold in one place, a silver in another place, a black in another place, a bronze in another place, a shiny silver in another place, and a matte silver in another place. Okay, Karen, off you go. I've got faith in you, Design Diva. I know you can do it. All right. So Dimpal says, I want to sign up, but I don't use Instagram. Dimpal, you can do it right here. There's a link on Facebook for the conference at the end of the announcement that the description that I typed ever so carefully before coming out here. Okay. Okay, Candace loves my advice. Candace, I love that you love it. That's why we stop doing everything we do every Tuesday. We are here 4 p.m. Eastern. We stop serving our clients and we come out here and we serve our peeps in the greater Design Diva community. Okay, Cheryl is saying, we bought an 1890 Victorian that has all original woodwork floors and fireplace. Okay, everybody party at Cheryl's. This sounds like a really cool house. The fireplace has a moss green original tile surround and hearth. To me, the green is very neutral. Do I have to decorate with greens, or can I just accent or ignore that green? Cheryl, great question, smart question. Green is sometimes considered the fifth neutral by designers, so I think you can design around it and let it be. If it's not a color you want to pull out further, don't. And I think you're absolutely fine. Okay, so there you go. Lori is saying, I just read an article on Zillow that says buyers prefer a tan color with pink undertones for foyers and living rooms. We plan on selling in the next 3 to 5 years. I am considering Sherwin-Williams canvas tan, but I don't know the undertones in this paint. Lori, I am thrilled that you think I am such a genius that I have an entire paint deck with colors memorized in my head. Ask my team. I don't even remember what I had for breakfast this morning. Actually, I didn't eat breakfast this morning. That's why I don't remember it. So there you go. So Lori, I can't weigh in. I know canvas tan is a great go-to color. We've used it. I don't recall truly what the undertone is on it. The most recent paints in my head are the ones I've most recently specified for a project. Do buyers prefer pink undertones for foyers and living rooms? I don't know. What do you think about that, Katie?
I'm very averse to pink. Well,
Katie is pink averse. She is a millennial who does not like pink. I think it's very hard to predict what a buyer is going to want coming into your home, which is why trying to design for the buyer is always very hard. The best thing you can do is go neutral. So here's what I would say, Lori. I would pick a neutral paint that is light enough to really push your walls out, right? And also that will look okay with your furnishings, look good with your furnishings. Because if there's a real disconnect between the undertone in your paint and the undertone that your furnishings are requiring, the room's gonna look wonky. And you really want, even though staging, it's not about making it about your furniture, it's about making it about your house, turning your home back into a product, back into a house like we talked about a few weeks ago. And if you missed that, you can always catch any of our Facebook Lives on our YouTube channel. So that's where I would go. So I'm swimming against the stream a little bit, swimming upstream against, I don't want to hurt Zillow's feelings And they may be right if they've done studies, but I think it would be a kiss of death to put a pink undertone in a room with your furniture if you really need more of a gray undertone in your beige, okay? Or more of yeah, okay, there you go. Debbie says, Debbie already signed up for the conference. Debbie, I get to hug you. Good, I like it. Candace, creating a vintage casual vignette. Ooh, vintage, like it. With creams and blush. Any advice for carrying those colors into fall? Yeah, I'd let the blush kind of hang out. I wouldn't blow up the blush. And I bring more of the creams in. And then I think you can add things like splashes of, if you're hopping onto the gold, that is, I mean, as a metal, that if that's a trend you've been liking, that will be gorgeous with the palette that you are setting up. And I love what you're describing. So it's okay, guys, to let a color drop into a space and let it just sit there for a minute and a half, and don't pull it forward. It can show up once, it can show up 3 times. That's it. It doesn't have to keep rolling everywhere within a room. From room to room, it can show up like we just did some guest apartments. The color plum was a strange connective color we needed between a shared kitchen and 2 apartments that had nothing to do with each other. That color plum showed up as a stripe on one accent pillow in one of the apartment's living rooms. That's it. Just set up the eye to get ready to accept a little bit of plum. So your blush in one room might reduce down to 1 accessory, 1 accent pillow, 1 stripe on an accent pillow. So you can go, and then in another area of your home, that blush might be, a 30% piece of the room. And in another room, maybe in your home office, maybe the whole room is blush pink with the furniture going into those creams and, other things that you're working on, Candace. So hopefully that helps you. And then again, you can warm them by bringing in gold for accents for fall, as opposed to, silvers and that sort of thing. And I'm getting happy faces, thank heavens, on that one. Lisa, this is great info in lighting. I know it gets tough on open floor plans, but it shouldn't, Lisa. So many people, one of the things I'll be teaching at the conference has to do with rhythm. And when you're doing rhythm in one room versus within connected rooms, within a whole open palette of rooms known as open concept, it's the same thing. It's like adding numbers that are single digit versus 2 digits versus 3 digit versus 9 digits. It's the same principles of addition. So I promise you that what I gave you as that little formula will really help you in your open concept lighting selection. Dimpal is coming to see me. Dimpal, I can't wait. Good. I'm so excited. I'm going to be crying at this conference. I'm just warning you. I'm going to be crying. Katie's laughing at me. I'm getting a hot flash just thinking about the conference. Now, I'm going to be so happy to be with you guys. I know I'm going to turn into a big stinking mush ball at times. All right. I won't embarrass anybody, though. Karen is saying, a follow-up question to my lighting one. We have a ceiling fan on the first floor. Katie, you were sending me so many notes. Final 2 questions. I have all these questions. I'm going to be in trouble. Katie's going to yell at me. All right, Karen, listen, I'm going to be nice. I'm going to take your follow-up question, even though I'm gotta go in my ear. A follow-up question. We have a ceiling fan on the first floor that has the ordinary 3 lights with shades. How the heck do I make these look like they go with my lighting? I know, I gotta tell you, as a woman who can turn into a nuclear reactor at night, I have the fan going, Steve's wearing a sweatshirt. I think fans are truly the ugliest thing you can ever put on your ceiling. I do, but I need them because otherwise I will not sleep and I won't be able to say one intelligent thing to a client or to one of my Design Diva peeps like you. The best thing you can do, spray paint it, Karen. Try to get it into some color that looks well with your other appointments. And the other thing you can do, I really kind of, rolled my eyes in this meeting when I thought, oh, how bad is this going to look? We did a big design build, and my client had this phenomenal master bedroom suite. I thought, oh, we're going to do such a great chandelier. And they said, no, you're not. He gets really hot at night. I turn into a nuclear reactor at night as well. So we had to do something called a fandelier. Now, believe it or not, so it looks like, if you haven't seen one, it looks like it's a, drum shade, but inside there's a fan. And I didn't like the size of it. I think it's too small for the space, but function first. Otherwise, people will throw darts at my picture. If I create a gorgeous space that isn't comfortable, big deal. I was seeing my client had to go back and do something at her residence. And I said, by the way, how's that chandelier working out? She said, Donna, this thing is so strong, cools off the entire suite. So that might be something you want to think about doing, Karen. That was a very long way of saying maybe you want to save some bucks up so that when you can, budget allows, try doing a chandelier. They are a heck of a lot less ugly than ceiling fans. I think ceiling fans can be great, in the South, nice California casual look. I mean, I think there are time and a place for them, but generally I don't love them. Hate the one we have here, but we die in this studio when we don't have little air happening. All right, I have to answer another question for Instagram. I don't want to ignore my Instagrammers. L. Harrington is saying, I have an open concept space. My husband feels like we need one neutral color. I think neutral, but different shades. Advice? Open concept, I'm going with the hubs. I like a single color running through open concept, but then don't get mad at me, Elle. What you can do is when you have a space that jogs, maybe the kitchen jogs a little bit, right? There's a little bit of a differentiation in the wall and a place where you can break your color. There you could do a shaded difference. And then, or maybe in your open concept, you still have sort of like an alcove for sometimes a dining room will have a little bit of an alcovey area to it. You can bump into, 2 shades deeper or something. But for the most part, in open concept, I tend to run a color through a space. There's somebody watching this Facebook Live right now who's a beloved client of ours, and in her kitchen, we did a single color running through her main open concept, but in her kitchen, we did a whisper of celery green, and everything else is just very creamy and sandy. So you can do that if the architecture allows for an easy, logical break in color. All righty, there you go. Lisa Marie, did I ever take a question from Lisa Marie? I don't think so. All right, sorry, policing myself. Lisa Marie, we built a new home and the brick fireplace has a lot of salmon colored brick. Yeesh. I have a lot of grays in the entire house. I want to change the color of the fireplace brick with paint or stain. I also have a very dark mantle that matches the floors. Would white be okay or too harsh? Lisa, you're doing a lot of description of your interior. I never like doing, I feel like we're starting to get into pantomime design. I would feel better seeing what you're talking about because there are enough color things you're asking me to look at and for me to weigh in and give you a really wise answer. I don't know what else is going on in your room. I think I do a terrible disservice to you, Lisa Marie. So I'm going to decline from answering, but if you're one of my students, if you're in one of my courses, you can definitely post pictures of what you're talking about so the whole community and my team and I can weigh in. Grace is saying, I'm thinking about painting an accent wall in my dining room, but I hear people are no longer doing accent walls in different color. Here's the thing, Grace. I don't think accent walls are going to go away. I just think they've been very overused. The great thing about an accent wall is it's a very low cost way to add some instant punch to a space, right? Just a different can of paint. So I think you can do it. I don't think it's something that, I don't think it's the first thing that a designer looks to do in a space. But when we're budget pressed, definitely it's a card to pull out of the deck to do something. And listen, people do accent walls with, wallpaper, just to do something really interesting. So if budget would allow, maybe you do that. So you're almost doing, kind of art on the wall. If you like pattern, maybe just do a great patterned grass cloth in your dining room. And I know I'm spending Monopoly money here. So if you don't have that in the budget and it has to be with the paint, go for it. Do it and do it well. I say go for it. I bless it. I hope it helps you on that, Grace. And then last question or so here, Candace. Candace is doing a follow-up. Plum was my first thought as an additional color moving into fall. Yeah, I think that could work as well, Candace, and I'm glad you like the golds as well. Eugenia, I don't even understand what this is. Eugenia is giving an IMG. What is that? I don't even know what that is. I don't know. Is that like a text thing? Is Eugenia cursing me out with the text? What is that?
Trying to post a picture.
Trying to post a picture. Trying to post a picture. Not working, Eugenia. Sorry. Karen loves my ideas. I'm amazing. Karen, say it again. No, thank you very much, Karen. All right, Katie, how much trouble am I in? Are we very late? Katie gave me 2 final questions about 5 minutes ago. All right, this is it. This is the final 2 questions. Here we go. Kim Kane is saying, I have a 1780s historic cape. All right, party at Kim's house. Here we go. with small rooms and large windows. Nice on the large windows. That's good. Most rooms are a soft white with color trim. However, my office is a bright gold with white trim. I love this room and I'm wondering if I need to use more color in the other rooms, but I have no idea what color. Kim, that is such a great question. It's such a broad question without knowing your design fingerprint. How you roll in design beneath your design style, how you relate to line, form, shape, color, texture, pattern. I couldn't begin to give you a quality, meaningful answer on your excellent question. I'm assuming you are not in my Decorating Genius course, because if you were, you wouldn't be asking me that. I think that'd be a good course for you to look at. You could also think about coming to the Design Diva conference and doing some masterminding on your project. But you definitely need some color design education so that you can approach this really wisely, because it sounds like you have a really cool home, Kim, and I'd love to see you make it to its fullest, most diva soul and inspiring and supporting mode. So I hope I answered you respectfully. I promise you, if I thought I could give you a good answer, I would. Last question here now is Eugenia. I just installed this pendant light. I'm skipping it, Eugenia. I can't see your pendant light. Kimberly Bowser is saying, can Capiz style chandeliers work with an adjacent entryway console featuring a mirror design? Why not? Why not? I don't see a problem unless I saw a picture, in which case I could give you a definitive answer. Design is a very visual sport. That's why if you're just new to us, joining us for these Instagram lives and these Facebook lives, the best questions to ask me during an Instagram live is a more, what do you think of, or how would you approach, more of like a theoretical question. But if it's a question where I need to see a picture, no can do, compadre. I can't give you quality information there. So from what you've given me so far there, Kimberly, I don't see a problem at all there. So, all right, lovelies. Listen, we're going to start to wrap it up. I'm a little over time here. I apologize. Thank you for sticking with us. Check out that link on the Design Diva conference, that once in a lifetime soul beating design immersion, where we are going to look to completely infuse your home design and your skill in being able to take your design where you want to with just tremendous gorgeousness and empowerment. Cannot wait. So check out that link. Some super low cost tickets happening as our launch. Ticket prices will continue to go up. There'll be some continual bumps till we get to the full price of $1,295 for the conference. It's a day-and-a-half conference, luxury location in Philadelphia. Cannot wait to see you there. So, my lovelies, we will be back. We're not really going to be back next week, are we? Because I have been invited by Kravit. A tiny group of like 4 of us from this region are being taken up to New York by Kravit to look at their fabric archives, connect with the Kravit family, upper management, look at a number of things that they're doing. It's a real honor to be part of that, but I don't think I'm going to be back in time. So let's say this. If I can get back in time on Tuesday to do an impromptu live at 8 o'clock on Tuesday, the whatever that is, the 7th that is, I will do it. And if I don't get back in time for that, we will just have to postpone our lives until my travel schedule calms down a little bit. Okay, but I promise I'll get back out here with you as soon as I can. Okay, lovelies, hugs to you all. So great being here with you, and I will see you soon, I hope, at the next live. Okay, bye-bye.